Monday motivation. Des here. We're not just attacking a brand new week this week, are we? It's a brand new year. I'd like to start by wishing everybody looking in a very, very happy, prosperous, healthy new year. Hopefully things plan out your way though that you want them to. Personally, it's going to be a massive year. Lots of life-changing things happening. Things I spoke about, things I'll speak about again, but I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting stuck in to some of my own personal targets, challenges, some things that I want to achieve. Something I'm going to speak about today, goal setting. But first of all, I just want to say I've had an absolutely brilliant Christmas. I've really enjoyed sort of being able to do things again after last year. I was determined to make it work for me. Of course the COVID restrictions last year and that kind of thing. So getting the opportunity to meet people, to still work within the rules, but to go out, to enjoy myself. A little bit too much indulgence, but that's the way it is at Christmas, isn't it? I'm not beating myself up about that because I've had an absolutely amazing time. Spent it around great people and really, really made the most of the things I'm doing. And that's put me in such a great frame of mind to take things forward. And I spoke there about goal setting, and I think today, as much as any, although I always say don't be defined by the calendar, by a new day, I like to use a Monday, I like to use the start of the year personally to sort of set out my objectives, my aims, my aspirations, so it gives me some real purpose and intention going forward. If we're ever going to check in, this is a fantastic time to do it. We can all beat ourselves up about the last year or worry what's going to happen going forward. Life happens, bad things happened to me last year, but on reflection, it was absolutely brilliant. Are bad things going to happen this year? Probably, but if we sort of go about a business with purpose and intention, with positivity and enthusiasm, we can get the most out of it. We can get to the end of the year, look back, tick it off, because those people who tend to, the reason I mention that, those people who tend to sort of write off New Year's resolutions and all this going forward, they're the first to complain about what's happened before. It's a negative mindset. What I'm trying to do is build a positive mindset from the off. I'm always evaluating the weeks, I'm always evaluating the months, so why wouldn't I evaluate the year? So it's really important for me right now to do that. And for Monday motivation, I thought it'd be great to mention the challenges I've set myself this year. I'll come back to them sort of individually. There's 3 sort of measurable challenges. But what I really want to do is talk about the 2 things that can really define those challenges when we're sitting down to set them. I think everybody should set challenges, whether it's for the day, for the week, for the year. Like I say, it gives us that purpose and intention, but it also gives us a sense of achievement. So the 2 things I think are really, really important is to make them as concise and as measurable as possible. I use that word already. But also to remember that anything's possible. So just going back to being concise, there's no point setting yourself a target, for example, of, I'd like to get a new job, I'd like to earn more money. Because they're not really measurable, are they? What you need to say is, I want to be a personal trainer. I want to earn £5,000 more than that last year. Because then you've got something to work to. If you don't set it like that through various points in the year, you're almost like giving up on those. I remember a few years ago, I've told this story a lot. I wanted to lose weight. I know I needed to lose 6 stone. But that became unachievable because I just kept saying I need to lose weight. I didn't want to admit how much I needed to lose. But once I put 2 stone on it, I want to lose 2 stone by the end of the year, because I would have accepted that even though I needed to lose more. I lost that straight away because I had something to work to from the off. I had sort of eyes on the prize and something to really work at. And whether it's activity or money, relationships, I want my relationships to be better. Well, what's the best way to go about that? Is it for you to be a happier person? Is it for you to sort of cut someone out. Do you know, again, you've got to take some sort of drastic action. There's no point just saying, I want this to happen, and waiting for it to happen. That doesn't happen. Do you know, all I'm trying to do here all the time is do something about the way I am. Do you know, I'm not perfect, I get it wrong. Do you know, if you watch DOdaily, you'll see my ups and downs. A couple of things I talk about a lot: sleep, weight, and again, I've got to put that fixed target on here. One of my real sort of habit changes, I wouldn't say it's a target as such, because I'm going to tell you my 3 targets later on, but one of my real habit changes for this year is to wake up earlier. And I've been saying that for a long time, and I've been saying it in that way, but what I really need to do is put something measurable on it. So what I'm going to say is, every day from Monday to Friday, I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. Do you know, and that automatically means I've got something to work at. If I don't get up, I can't fob it off as still getting up earlier than I would. Do you know, I'm getting up because that is definitely an hour or so earlier than I tend to get up during the last year, when I've been complaining all the time that's not been happening. So it's important to be really sort of concise about what you're doing. If you're not concise, like I say, you can get that far behind the 8 ball. You know, it's impossible to sort of pull it back in. If you've got your eyes on the prize, you know, you're always working to it. That 2 stone I mentioned, once I'd lost £4, what is it, £28, 2 stone. Once I lost £4, I got £24, and so on and so on. And it's really sort of important to sort of hit your targets on the head. So this is what I want, and this is what I want to achieve, and exactly like I've done with that small habit change I've been talking about there. And the other thing is to remember back to when you was a child. I touched on there about sort of anything's possible. You know, remember when you was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old? You know, you sort of look at things and say, I want to be this, I want to be this, and there was no fear about what you were going to do. Personally, I wanted to be a footballer, so I went out and played football every day. Didn't happen because I didn't have the ability. 2, I didn't have the opportunity, and 3, it just didn't happen. You know, because lots of people are vying for the same thing, and it is a bit of an impossible dream when you're that age. But what I'm saying is, you've got no fear, you just reach out for it. Those who had some opportunity, ability, you know, who worked really, really hard, who dreamt about it, would have actually made it, you know. But it's the same with any job, and as we grow up, you know, demons start to sort of kick in, don't they? We start to sort of not want to get out of comfort zone. When we're a child, there's no such thing as a comfort zone. We say what we want, we say the wrong thing because we say in what we think, you know. And ultimately, it's as we get older that we just start to sort of become a little bit more reserved, you know. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, isn't it? Myself, I kind of slipped back into my shell through my teen years, through my early 20s, and even into my 30s. And it's not until sort of finding activity, running, you know, doing things like this, that I'm actually sort of getting out there, getting a little bit out of my own skin, you know, pushing myself to limits. I do this every day through DOdaily. Not particularly comfortable. I know there's people out there with a more articulate message, you know, with more viewers, with people willing to listen, you know, that's absolutely fine. But I'm just getting myself back out there because, you know, I've learned over the last few years that it's all right trying to fob things off as being naive and this is never going to happen and it's not achievable. You know, absolutely anything is achievable. I spoke there about that 6 stone I needed to lose, and ultimately I lost it, you know, but I went about it the right way. When I was thinking I need to lose 6 stone, it wasn't achievable. Did I ever think I'd run 5 marathons? No, absolutely not. You know, I always had a small sort of inner aspiration to run a half marathon. I thought it would be the only time. Now I've done 20 odd of those and 5 marathons, you know, and I really get so much from running and getting out and being active. And it's really, really important to remember how far you've come sometimes, and that's what I'm saying. So it's easy to fob things off. I can't do this, I can't do that. But the reality is, you can do absolutely anything. that said, getting back to my personal targets, and I think this will all sort of piece everything together. I put out on my own social media, through my Instagram, through my Twitter, my 2 big activity targets and 1 big DOdaily target over the last few days. Please check my social media out. All the links are under this video. You can follow me on any of those. But those 3 targets were to run a sub 4 hour marathon, to get a parkrun PB, and to get 500 subscribers. Are those targets achievable? Absolutely. Are they going to be easy? Absolutely not. They're really going to be tough. You know, I'm not in the best physical shape for various reasons, through illness, through injury, through not being as consistent, you know, through extra indulgence at Christmas. You know, I need to lose a lot of weight. I need to make things happen to be able to make that happen. It's not just a case of getting out there running. You know, I need to work on my diet. I need to work on my habits, like my sleep, you know, my productivity elsewhere, to make sure I've got time to fit everything in. But it's really important for me to give them a go. You know, if I don't reach out like that, you know, how far am I going to get? If I restrict myself, I know that they're possible. I absolutely know they're possible. But what I've done there, as I mentioned before, I've gone back to a point where I've got no fear with them. You know, if they don't happen, we go again. We keep working. I keep working hard, you know, into the following year, you know, and try again. I've got so much from my activity, so much from DOdaily. I don't want to think that I've reached my peak with any of these yet. And why should I? You know, I'm not the youngest. I'm 41 now, you know, but I don't feel washed up. I feel a lot younger than I did 10 years ago, believe me. You know, when I did feel a little bit washed up, felt like I was getting old without a purpose and any intention before all these changes I made, which I've referred to a lot through DOdaily. So it's important, isn't it, just to remember that anything's possible. You know, lose those inhibitions, set concise targets. Sub 4 hour marathon. My fastest when I was my fittest was 4:15. My parkrun PB is 22 minutes and 16 seconds. Yesterday I did a 5k. Admittedly, it was in torrential rain, you know, and I am a little bit heavier and carrying more weight at the moment, you know, not being consistent. It took me 29 minutes and 6 seconds. That's a lot to find. I've always kind of, it's not negatively, but I've always said I'm not natural at this. You know, I find it particularly difficult, you know, activity, running, you know, this self-development journey. I'm getting out my comfort zone all the time, and that's what I'm urging now, guys, is you just to get out your comfort zone a little bit. Remember when you was 5 years old and you had all these dreams and it didn't matter what anybody said? Put a realistic, achievable but difficult target in front of you. If it's too easy, you know, I've been guilty of that in the past, just sort of, oh no, I've got a bit more time. I even did it with the challenges set to me by the viewers towards the end of October. One was to lose weight, lose on average of £2 before Christmas. For a couple of weeks, it never really kicked in because I know I could do it. As soon as I kick in, I know I could do it. But that's not really the best mindset, is it? Because ultimately something could get in the way. Something could have got in the way and stopped me doing that even more. I changed my eating, I changed my drinking, I got in more activity. It really helped, but we never know what's around the corner. And I touched on that at the start, didn't I? That bad things will happen, difficult situations will arise, but if you're positive and enthusiastic about what you want to do, lots of good things will come to you as well. And if you can outweigh the bad with the good, you know, if you can be working with purpose and intention, if you can achieve great things, that's going to make for a fantastic 2022, isn't it? And that's all I want to say today, guys. Just quite a lot there on goals. Not a lot, but I've expanded on it greatly about goal setting and how we can approach it, you know, and how it can be quite easy in reality. You know, got 3 targets to work at. Those 2 running targets to achieve 500 subscribers. The subscribers is really difficult. I need a bit of help with that, but what I need to be is as consistent as I want to be, keep getting the videos out, keep trying to improve with my messaging. I'll do a lot on that, you know, but again, it's a target I want to achieve. If I get there, you know, I can look back and go, wow, you know, what a great year. And I can also look back and think, particularly with the activity, you know, it took me a long time before, it took me a long time to get back, but I've done it again. I've proved to myself again that I can do it, but I can only do that if it's concise and it's something that's going to take a lot of effort, commitment and dedication. I know I've got that. I know hard work doesn't scare me, but all I'm saying to you guys is, if you sort of adopt that mindset, you know, that you can achieve anything, you absolutely can. And that is all I'm going to say on money motivation. I did set, and I kind of purposely set this question, I did set the throwback question for Thursday Thoughts last week. What habitual change do you want to make in 2022? Bearing in mind everything I've just said, you know, I've had one or two already, and again, it made me think about speaking about what I have today. One or two where they're not that concise. I asked the guys who I do some personal coaching with to do the same, and there's some great measurable targets in there, but the point is we've got to get them all measurable. So if you've got something that you want to change, just like my sleeping, you know, I've got to put something on it. You know, it's okay saying I want to spend more time with family, but how are you going to measure that? How are you going to make that happen? You know, it's got to be something where you say, I'm going to spend 2 nights a week talking to family, you know, because then there's 2 nights where you can tick it off and say I've done it, and you know you've stuck to your word. So until tomorrow, guys, Tuesday training, I'll be fulfilling my activity. I've got the coaching session in the morning, and then the return of the Do Running groups tomorrow night. So there's lots for me to go at in that sense. There'll be lots for me to talk about. But once again, have a great year, set those targets, and make sure you're just doing it.